Up next, Moorhead police confirmed 7 people, including 3 juveniles, were found dead in a South Moorhead home last night. And the Minnesota State Patrol is asking drivers to use more caution on slick roads this winter. Plus, Senator Joe Manchin says no to the Build Back Better bill. Valley News Live at 10 starts now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
New tonight at 10, Morehead police confirmed 7 people were found dead in a South Moorhead home last night. Authorities were called just before 8 p.m. after family members were conducting a welfare check and found the deceased. New information was recently released tonight. Valley News team's Alex Larson is here now with what that new information may be and how neighbors are reacting to the tragic deaths. Alex?
Thank you, Nishay. Police reported earlier this evening that there were 7 people found dead in the home behind me, and feelings are heavy here in South Moorhead tonight. The victims included 4 adults and 3 children, and neighbors are saying that they're saddened by this tragedy.
I had a really hard time sleeping, and all I thought about was them dying. And I was trying to figure out how they died, and I was like really scared.
The Kachul family lives 2 houses down from the home where the victims were found. And these neighbors say the next few days are going to be hard.
We see them all the time, and now they're not going to be there. Yeah, they're going to be tough, but we're going to go through it together.
Mel says the neighborhood kids would all play with the family lost in the tragedy.
You know, all these young neighbors, a lot of young kids, and there's a lot of young kids around here.
Authorities say autopsies are being done by Ramsey County to determine a cause of death. Police said last night that there appears no trauma or violence was involved.
It was scary because I thought something bad happened to them. I thought like it was like murder maybe, but I learned it was an accident, and it's just really heartbreaking.
We're told there is no known threat to the public at this time. Police also say the identities of the individuals will be released in the coming days. We'll keep you updated here with the latest. Reporting live in South Moorhead, Alex Larson, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you so much, Alex. And the 3 juveniles were students at a Moorhead area public school. Officials say the students attended S.G. Reinertson Elementary and Moorhead High School. Tonight, the district released this statement. It is a difficult time for our school family, and our deepest condolences are with the extended family. As a district, our goal is to support students, staff, and families through this difficult time. Now, a crisis team is being assembled to provide grief counselors for students and staff at the impacted schools. Meanwhile, there could be a chance we see some snow for this Christmas Eve. Summer is here now with details. Hey, Summer.
Thank you so much, Nishay, and thank you everyone for joining us on this Sunday night. Today's kind of the start of a more active, unsettled, snowy period through the week, leading right up to that Christmas holiday. But for today, many of us were able to enjoy some above average temperatures despite it being quite windy. 36 degrees was the peak temperature today in Carrington, 34 in Devil's Lake, 30 in Valley City, Grafton, and Grand Forks. We made it to 28 in Fargo, 25 in Monoman, and temperatures even at this hour are still fairly mild with a mix of clear skies and cloudy skies. But it's where we see the clearing tonight that it's going to turn quite cold. We have a couple of pockets right now up towards Langdon and another just near the Fargo area and Point South. Our next chance of snow is going to come late Monday through Tuesday morning, that should say AM, and then heading into the rest of the week, our cold stretch is going to continue right up through the Christmas time frame. Christmas Eve, a first alert weather day. There is a chance for some snow, potentially some mixed precipitation, and then even a little bit of wind. But regardless of how much snow or wind we receive, it's a big travel day. So we have your first alert for your travel forecast. So coming up in just a few minutes, I'll be going over how much snow we might be expecting tomorrow night, how cold we get for tomorrow morning with a wind chill advisory, and then of course another look at that Christmas travel forecast.
Yeah, people have to be ready and be prepared for these roads and all kinds of conditions that could happen this weekend.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, thank you so much, Summer. Now here locally, the Minnesota State Patrol is reminding motorists to drive smart this winter. Sergeant Jesse Grabo says troopers have been responding to several crashes and spin outs this weekend. This is a picture Grabo tweeted out earlier today where a State Patrol squad car was struck and several cars had slipped off the road on I-94 near Rothsay. No injuries have been reported, and Grabo says the area between Rothsay and Fergus Falls has been the busiest. And this is another picture showing an example of slick roads in Minnesota. Yesterday, a vehicle hauling a fish house skidded and slid off along Highway 10 on the Buffalo River Bridge near Glendon. Shoulder cables were fortunately able to catch the vehicle before it could slide further and go into the river. Sergeant Grable says no one was injured. The COVID-19 Omicron has now been detected in at least 45 U.S. states, Puerto Rico, and Washington, D.C. With the Omicron variant quickly spreading, one health expert says there's a tsunami coming for unvaccinated Americans. Omicron is expected to surpass Delta to become the dominant variant in the U.S. within the coming weeks. Both cases and hospitalizations are at levels not seen since September at the end of the summer spike. And despite the rise in new COVID-19 cases, air travelers do not appear to be scaling back their holiday plans. The TSA reported screening more than 2 million passengers for the third straight day. Those numbers are nearly double what they were at the same time last year, but they do fall short of pre-pandemic figures. But although U.S. air travelers aren't slowing down, more Americans are getting tested for COVID-19 ahead of the holidays. Cars and people have begun lining up at testing sites across the country. Health experts warn that as the demand increases, test results may take longer and it may become more difficult to find at-home tests in some parts of the country. But there are still concerns for a holiday spike. According to Johns Hopkins University, new cases in the U.S. are now averaging over 120,000 new cases a day. And in the wake of the NFL being forced to postpone 3 games, and the league and the Players Association have updated the NFL COVID-19 protocols. The new set of protocols include a more targeted testing plan as well as more flexibility for NFL players to attend meetings virtually. Now, team members will also be provided with at-home testing kits for their own use as well as for anyone in their household. Upon entering team facilities, everyone will be screened for COVID-19 symptoms. Football players who are not yet fully vaccinated will continue to have to undergo daily testing, and those at high risk will now have the ability to opt out for the remainder of the season. Fentanyl is reportedly now the leading cause of death in Americans aged 18 to 45. Nearly 79,000 people in that age range died between 2020 and 2021, surpassing suicide, COVID, and car accidents. Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid that is 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. The drug is responsible for killing 64,000 Americans this year alone. The Drug Enforcement Administration is dealing with drug traffickers using social media, even emojis, trying to entice young people. The DEA says various platforms like Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook can reach a greater audience for drug trafficking. They say using the platform and emojis is almost like a secret code that many adults won't understand. But it's a code one DEA agent says is important for parents to learn how to crack.
I would encourage and urge every parent to have a really honest conversation with their children about these dangers and about the risks.
The DEA says fentanyl is mostly coming from Mexico and China. Every year, scammers rob thousands of people out of personal information and money, which can be especially devastating during the holidays. The North Dakota Attorney General's office says they have seen increases in phishing and romance scams this time of year. Phishing scams are where a scammer calls or emails a victim pretending to be from a company like Amazon in an attempt to lure data from your and to access your bank accounts or credit cards. Romance scams are when a criminal adopts a fake online identity to gain a victim's trust to manipulate or steal from them.
So, we continue to urge consumers, talk about this in your social circles, talk about this in your church clubs or other civic clubs to make sure that people are aware.
Grossman says consumers should be vigilant. They should not click on links or call numbers sent from someone they don't know. Also, report fraud to the Attorney General's office or the police, even if you do not pay out for a scam. The end of the year holiday season may not be so jolly for the White House. That's because a sweeping economic and climate package backed by President Joe Biden still doesn't have enough support from the Democratic Party. John Lawrence reports.
President Biden's Build Back Better bill is dealt a battering blow.
This is a no on this legislation. I have tried everything I know to do.
The nearly $2 trillion package needs full support from the Democratic Party to get through the Senate. And Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia remains a holdout, saying he has concerns about various provisions in the legislation which passed through the House of Representatives last month.
They're just trying to make the adjustment for the time to fit the money, or the money to fit the time, not changing our approach, not targeting things we should be doing.
The president's bill, which was trimmed over the past few months, would boost the nation's deficit by $367 billion over the next decade.
This Build Back Better bill, I think, is an absolute disaster. They don't even know how they're going to implement the infrastructure bill.
Supporters of the bill are upset with Manchin's lack of support.
If he doesn't have the courage to do the right thing for the working families of West Virginia and America, let him vote no in front of the whole world.
All I want for Christmas is a senator that has compassion for the American people and not contempt.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Later on Valley News Live at 10, all while battling her own health challenges, a 9-year-old girl is spreading holiday cheer.
A wind chill advisory is in effect for portions of the Northern Valley where we could get as low as 30 below, and then a first alert weather day has been called for Christmas Eve. I'll have details coming up right after the break.